We're back now with Susan Page, Washington Bureau Chief for USA Today, Michael Gerson, columnist for the Washington Post, plus two of the busiest campaign reporters out there, Jonathan Martin of the New York Times and Ed O'Keefe of the Washington Post. Susan, I want to begin with you. All of this Donald Trump business up. What's the political fallout? Where do things stand for him now?
You know, if he were a conventional candidate, he would be toast. It would be over. We would move on and talk to who the real nominee is going to be. But he has defied all that conventional analysis up to now. He has exceeded the expectations of everyone except himself. And I think that should make us humble about assuming that this is the end, that this is the peak of Donald Trump. That said, here's the great dilemma he presents for the Republican Party. They need to figure out a way to distance themselves from Donald Trump while embracing the people who are attracted by Donald Trump. And that is something Republicans have not yet figured out how to do.
Have to put one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. Yeah. Michael Gerson, challenge for the Republican Party.
Well, the plus side is 24 million people tuned in and saw 4 or 5 candidates that could actually win an election, but Donald Trump was not one of them in this. You know, he on stage, he didn't even show a minimal knowledge of issues while calling everyone else stupid. And so when you strip away all the bluster, there's more bluster underneath. I think that really, you know, disqualifies him as a candidate. But, you know, this is not a typical season. And he made the biggest threat of that night, the political threat, which is to run as a third party. And that would be deeply destructive to Republican chances. Yeah.
And by the way, that is something that's being talked about by some folks in the party as possible leverage to keep him out of future debates, that pledge to that he won't take. And it's being talked about. The downside of doing that is if you do that, you probably ensure that he does run as a third-party candidate. And so there's this internal uncertainty of how do we keep him sort of, you know, repressed, but at the same time not push him to a third-party candidate any sooner than he actually might go. What's fascinating is the lack of urgency from the campaigns themselves that I've heard since that debate. You don't hear the campaigns themselves saying, we've got to stop this guy, keep him off the debate stage. And the reason why? They got 24 million viewers, not just for Trump, but for their candidates too.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Ed O'Keefe, who do you think benefited the most quickly from 24 million people getting a good look at him?
I think 3 people, and one of them wasn't even on stage, Carly Fiorina. John Kasich, the governor of Ohio, probably helped by the hometown crowd to some extent. And certainly Marco Rubio, the senator of Florida, reminded a lot of people why he's in this race and why he could emerge as a very effective party spokesman.
All right, good. Well, that's our first round of conversation here. We'll get back to all of this in a moment. We're going to take a break right now. We'll have a lot more from our panel, so stay with us.